Hi everyone, this is Lisbeth Stoll, Cottage Caboodle. Thanks for coming in. We have today the return or the reschedule of our Tealight ornaments. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I'm going to go on to my page and share it to the Caboodle Doodles page so that we can have everybody who needs to be seeing it. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope everything is just going well and you're not part of that storm that's going on. It's always something in the weather, isn't it? Always something. So let's see what we can do. That's not gonna work. Of course it's not. Why would it? Why would it? So hold on here. Let me go over to something else. There we go. Let's see. So come on in. Hi Bonnie. Hi Mary. Welcome, welcome. I am just sharing this out so that we can get it to the Caboodle Doodle group. Wahoo. And it looks like it is working. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. I think it's going. I hope it went. Yes, it says it posted. As luck would have it. As luck would have it. So I'm going to leave this up so that I can make sure and see all the comments. So hello everyone. Hi Cheryl. Hi Susan. Happy Tuesday to you. Hi Marie. Hi Paula. Kathy, hello. I'm so excited to share these with you. They are so stinking cute. And we had to wait for a while for them. Hi Anne. We got back ordered on them, you guys. I can't ever seem to guess right. So thanks for your patience. The rest of them went out last night or early this morning. So they're all on their way, and you should have, if you ordered and you still haven't gotten yours, you should have some tracking information in your email. So hello. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Melissa and Robin. It's good to see everyone. Hi, Patty. Hi, Pat. Hi, Gloria. Martha, hello. Thanks for coming in, Sue. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. So I hope that you are staying cool or warm or dry or safe from the fires. I don't know, you guys. It's all kind of wonky out there, isn't it? Hello. So I appreciate your flexibility last week. You would have not wanted me to be teaching this. I was coughing and just all around in a pretty icky way. Hi Jan. Hi Nadine. That was the only non-fun thing about Oklahoma City's convention though. Hi Kim. It's great to see everybody coming in. I'm going to read off as we go here. I'm going to be talking about the colors and things that I'm using, but I also will post something in the group, what colors I used, and you're going to see that there's going to be some that it's okay if you use something a little bit different. It's not going to matter that much. Sometimes we get stuck on having the exact color, and when they're on something, they don't really look all that much different. And so we're gonna explore that a little bit, because I am out. I just put in a paint order, but I'm out of a lot of my favorites, just because that's kind of the way it goes. And so I put in an order, so I'm waiting for those to come in. So hello, thanks for coming in. These are gonna be so much fun. And I have a few other things to share with you, but I was not about to. Here's my thing. I hate having to make you wait. I hate having to wait to ship. But when something gets back ordered, and all I can do is order it and just hope and pray for the best, right? And so but I won't sell new things until some of that gets all taken care of, because it doesn't seem right to me to keep going when I can't fulfill what I've got. So we've got some new things coming up and you're gonna like them. one of the things that I wanted to keep doing is a lot of people have really been excited about the ornaments. So we're going to keep doing some of those little things for the holidays, and hopefully we'll get to some of the fall things too. So, but I really do paint ornaments all year round. So hi Chris, hi Jody, hello Joyce. It's great to see everyone. It's great to see everyone. I hope you're having, just like I said, a great day, a great week. So far, it's only Tuesday, but a great week. And that you are staying cool, warm, dry, not suffering with flames. I mean, my goodness, it's nuts. It's just crazy. So we are expected to make 70 today, and then it's going to start warming up again. So hi Barb Schwabel from Buffalo. Hello Diane. Hello. Well, I'm going to turn my camera down. I've got things kind of started. I want to let you know where we're at, what we're going to be doing, and kind of get started and show you what we're going to do. These are so much fun to do. Remember that these kits have all of the wood pieces that you're going to need. They do not come with the votive or tea lights included. Now, I've talked about this on lives before. The tea lights I got, you don't want those. I got the cheapest ones Amazon could offer, and thinking, you know, a little tea light's a tea light is a tea light, right? Well, boy, was I wrong. If I were you, I would spring for the ones that are a timer. They have some that are a timer for the majority of the day, and then you can set them so that they go on in the evening and then off like at bedtime or just thereafter. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Barbara. And so you would want those. These are nearly, and I'm not exaggerating, nearly impossible to turn on and off. So, hi Glenna. Hello. So, I am going to turn this camera down so that you can see what I've got going. I've got all this cuteness down here, and I want to show you, I've got the ones that are finished sitting right here, and they are just too cute. They've got several layers, so they're substantial. They're not just a little wimpy ornament. Then the little tea light will hang out the back, but not too much. And I like heavier ornaments because they stay put and they don't spin around and stuff. But you guys, I'm not kidding when I say they are near impossible. So, hold on, there we go. But you have to see how cute they are. So they are super cute when they're lit. And then for the snowman and the reindeer, I put some paint on there. So we'll talk about that too. It is a cuteness overload. Woohoo! So super cute. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Glenna. I said hello to you, I think. Oh, well, it was so good. I'm going to do it twice. Hi, Sherry. So I'm going to set these off to the side, but you can see that I've already put some little sparkle on them and all kinds of things. I also got into the little bag that they came in. Oh, I'm glad you like them. I'm glad you like them. I wanted to separate them out, and I'll explain to you, I think as we go, it will make sense why I separated them the way they do, the way I did. But one thing to notice is on each one of these snowflakes, it's got what piece it goes to. So that says Santa, Mrs. Claus. Then we've got reindeer, and we've got snowman. So if you notice, if you look at these real careful, notice how there's a little less snowflake right down here than on some of these others. And the reason is just they wanted the antlers to be more on here, probably to be protected, but that affects how that circle is cut into the back. So they've done a good job to get those so that they are really nice and well thought out. So hi, Kathy. So we've got things kind of together. It's to a point where it makes sense to me. And as you're putting this together, you can do them however you like. I'm using blue painter's tape to keep them stuck onto the board. Hello, if I miss saying hello to you, I am glad you're here, and I apologize for missing you coming in. But I've got some things laid out here so that the green is all together. These little berries, you might wonder, why does she have the wrong side up? And I'm going to show you on here. Do you see how the lines got etched on those berries? Sometimes on a tiny piece, it might turn out okay, but then some of them might be a little bit off. So rather than fight it, I just turn them over and then paint the backside, because that way I don't have to worry about whether they line up or not. So that's my method there. So we've got these little guys. They go together really fast, and I think you're gonna like them. So hello. So I've got some sponges here. Especially when they've got these little stitch lines on them, I prefer to use the sponges, just because that way it doesn't overfill those little etched lines. Is everyone getting sound? Give me some hearts if you're getting the sound. Are you getting sound? Yep, I think we're getting sound. I hope. And not that you'll be able to hear me, but if you have problems with sound, you're going to have to go out and come back in. So I'm going to get out some colors. And one of the things, oh, yep, I think people are hearing me. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. One of the things that when I first came on, I said, I am going to show you how sometimes colors don't matter as much as you think they might. And so this is sand gray, and this is gray sky. Now, good. This sand gray is a little bit more beige, but you can see that these are super close, even though one is much more gray and one's a little more on the beige side. You could use bleach sand, but I'm going to use gray sky just to show you that even though it's a different color, it's still going to work just fine. Oh, good. I'm glad you got in and out. So this gray sky I'm going to use on the snowflakes, on the snowy, on the beard, on the hair, and that way we'll have a little bit of contrast. Remember, and you've probably heard me say this if you've watched me, I like to always have some place to go as far as brighter or darker. So hello, Vanessa. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. So I'm just going to take this sponge, and I'm going to really quickly, I want to get his little face, and you're going to say a gray snowman. Well, you'll notice a difference and understand why if you've never done an undercoat before white, because it's going to give it some depth. And it really is, it does make a huge difference, We're also going to put it on the beard. And the sponge, I don't overload it, but I want to make sure that it's got plenty of paint, but I don't want so much that it's going to go into that etching. I'm going to go over the little pom-pom, because that's going to be white. I also need to do Mrs. Claus' hair. Hi, Carol. You just got home from the store. Good. I'm glad it's good for most of you. I know that some areas are experiencing, like they're starting to have storms in the area, and I know that that was a concern to some people. I don't need to do her face. I don't need to do her hair because her hair is right here. So I kind of think to myself on these, you know, especially when they're multi-layers, what do I need next? What's going to come as the next step, the next big thing? So now I want to come over to my snowflakes, and I'm going to do these gray also, because I'm going to be dry brushing with Snow White and then a couple of my blues. So we started with gray sky. You could use sand gray, you could use bleach sand, anything that's going to contrast with Snow White, so that these will look even more white than just being painted plain white, if that makes sense. If you've got a deeper, darker color, it's going to provide some depth in there, and that always looks better. So in fine art, usually you go with at least 5 levels of color from brightest to darkest. Sometimes that's a blend, sometimes that's other colors, but those 5 layers of colors. And in our more whimsical styles and stuff, we don't usually worry too much about that, but it certainly does help to have that contrast in there. So just clicking on here. While you're watching, if you're liking what you see, make sure that you are following me. In the last 3 days, I have lost 60 followers, and I can't imagine that I've made that many people mad. But make sure that you're still following me so that you still get all the good stuff that I'm doing if you like doing what I'm doing, or you like seeing what I'm doing. And I don't know why that happens sometimes, but it does. And so just double check on your favorites, not just me, but people that you enjoy watching. Make sure every so often that you are still following them. So, hello everyone. I'm sorry if I've missed you. I feel like I need extra hands and extra eyes sometimes. So this is Gray Sky. The first ones I used sand gray, but this is going to provide the very same kind of a contrast. And sometimes you might even like it better. But you know, in addition, I wouldn't usually use black all by itself. Like today I'm going to on the hats and some stuff like that, but usually I want someplace, I always say someplace to go, and that means to get brighter or deeper, one or the other, depending on the color. So I won't start out with the color that I want it to look most like, in this case white, if I can help it. So this tippy tapping, it starts to get your arm and your shoulder and all that. So we're gonna let that dry and we'll come back to it. Hello, Lori. Thanks for being here. I've got a couple little places that I've missed, and I'll come back because when it dries, it usually does show up as, you know, oh, there's one. Oh, there's another place. I'm gonna get out a little bit of honey brown and we're going to put that on our little reindeer. On the tea lights themselves, on the noses, like this one is orange, you could use a multi-surface paint like the Deco Earth, right? Yeah, the Deco Earth paints, and you could use another multi-surface paint, but you could also use your regular Deco Art Americana paints if you coat that little nose with a little bit of multi-purpose sealer first. It will help it to adhere, and it should work just fine. I'm putting honey brown on the furry parts of this little guy. I'm just going to tippy tap that honey brown on there. Give him a little warm color on him or her. Well, I guess it's a him because he has antlers. I don't know. Maybe deer. No, girl deer don't have antlers. Maybe reindeer do. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Not an expert. Not an expert. So we've got that one done. We do need to have a flesh tone of some sort. I may have to do it my very own self. However, I think we need to have some sort of chart that we put together so that we have other skin tones so that it looks like your family, whether it's, you know, whether you're fair and Irish like me, or whether you're, you know, my mom was very olive complected. We didn't have the same skin color at all. So it would be nice to have, you know, kind of a cheat sheet to know what some of those skin tones, what color in deco art do those skin tones resemble. And it would help you have at least a place to start, I think, anyway. So I'm going to just tippy tap on that flesh tone. And with all the layers, it's kind of nice because you don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. But that flesh tone especially is going to need probably more than one coat. So I'm going to go back over to my gray sky and double check to make sure that I got some pretty good coverage. And honestly, it looks like I did. And I'm not too worried about the snowflakes because I'm going to dry brush over those with a couple of different colors. I've got a couple areas that just you can see the wood through. But as far as the snowman's face and Mrs. Claus' hair and Santa's beard, I think we're good. So yeah, I think it would be good. I don't know. It would be nice to know like a scale for brown skin. It would, everybody's got a lot of, different people that they either sell to or have in their family. So, okay. That's flesh tone is hard because it's so light, but we've got good coverage on that little deer. Oh my goodness, it's just fantastic. I'm going to use New Leaf for the green. Oh, you did get it finished? Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Did you hear what I got a picture about gingerbread from a club? You may have heard that, and I'll share with everybody, but sorry if this is a repeat for you. But somebody shared with me at Oklahoma, or maybe it was right before Oklahoma. I honestly don't recall. But they had taken pizza pans from the Dollar Tree and they painted them. I just put green on the berries. Well, you know what? That will help that red to cover. So, oh my goodness, you guys. I have COVID brain and I was just sick. We're not certain if it was COVID or not. I stayed home. But that certainly is right in keeping with. I also last Friday, I think it was, put crackers in the refrigerator drawer. And yeah, so there is something going on with the residual effects, I think. So my husband was standing right there, of course, and he says, "Do you want to put the crackers in the refrigerator?" No, I don't. So anyway, what they were doing before I got that sidetrack going, this person shared with me that they took pizza pans from the Dollar Tree and they painted gingers. Now that would work also for the snowies. You could do a snowy face. Then they used the Dollar Tree's clear plates and put those on them. Now this was for a luncheon. They put the clear plates on top of those chargers that they made out of pizza pans, and then they also did the glassware and stuff to match. It would be a very affordable way if you and a friend set a table for one of those luncheons. So super cute. Super cute. Yes, if you're having a hard time with it freezing, you might want to go out and come back in. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so we've got that skin tone all done again. I got out some milk chocolate and I'm going to go over those antlers. Hello everyone coming in. I'm so glad you're here. These are so much fun. So we've got milk chocolate. I'm going to put on these little antlers. I'm going to be going over it with some colors that contrast. So eventually we'll have some burnt umber and we'll have some honey brown on here. So it may look, real close, and it is really close, but it will be more contrast when we get that dry. I'm going to go over my green again. Go. And then I didn't go on the little berries again. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to get out a little bit of lamp black. I don't need very much right now. I just need a little bit for the snowy hat and the brim of his hat. So yeah. Canning jar lids and the rings look really cute. I used to do that with students, and they turn out really cute. You can, even if you want to take them a little bit further, you can cover the round seal part of the lid with even just a skosh of like Warm and Natural, some sort of real thin batting, or maybe a piece of an old blanket, and put a piece of muslin on top, and then you can paint on the fabric, and it adds just another little layer of interest on there. But yeah, super cute, super cute. And I just want a little black on there. So we've got the hat, we've got the little faces, we've got the beard. I need to do my red, and I used watermelon slice. Now, if you would rather have like a Santa red, please feel free to change these colors up. That's the fun of all of this, is you get to change things to your liking, and I just think it's so fun. So I'm going to get a little bit of that watermelon slice, and I'm going to go on those berries that I painted green originally, but green is a good undercoat for red. It'll help it cover. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, even though it was totally an oopsie-daisy. And I'm going to go over this collar. Hello, Roberta. We're going to miss you this weekend. I wish you were going. I am just about done there. Okay, so I think we are pretty well covered. I'm going to do a little more of that honey brown on the reindeer. There we go. And maybe a little more of the green. The green is starting to, I did not seal these, and so sometimes the paint will soak in a little bit, and to get it more vibrant, you have to give it a second coat. But it doesn't take, very long. So that is the base coating part of it. Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it at all. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to start working on these snowflakes, because they don't take a long time, but that's probably one of the things that you're going, huh? Why did she paint them gray? I don't get it. And so let's get started with those a little bit. I want a dry brush. I don't want a tiny one, but I don't want a huge one. Let me see here. This will work. Here's a number 8, and that's what I'm going to use. I need some white. So I'm going to use white. And I also want to get out some Provence Sky and some Stormy. Now, you could use any colors that you want. You could also, if you wanted, you could have these snowflakes base coated, like winter blue would be pretty, a real pale blue. And that way you'd have that contrast too. But I started with that gray because I want it to look even more white. So I'm going to take that little bit of white on my dry brush, go to my paper towel and scrub a lot of it off. And then I'm going to zoom this in just a skosh. And we'll do this Mrs. Claus one first. And I'm just going to take my dry brush, and with white I don't scrub it off as much, but I'm going to go along these center mid areas. And it doesn't need to be, real even at this point. you want it to look frosty. And if you've ever looked at something frosty, it's got some highs and some lows. It's got some, you know, areas that have more and less. It's kind of crackledy looking, and this will help to achieve that effect. So I'm just going to my little hula spot, my spot where I blended out my brush, and I'm just putting on a little of this white. Hi, Lori. Yeah, isn't that the truth? When we always find a use for something once we throw it out. But you can see how that dry brush really blends in there. And so you can leave a little more paint on there and almost stipple it on there. And that little bit of contrast is going to really help to make this look, you know, more like snow, have it a little bit more contrast and frosty looking rather than just plain white. Now, say you are someone who said, I don't want to mess with all that. I just want to paint them white. Well, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely do that. I'm just trying to show you some different ways so that you can make the change if you want. So I'm just going to stipple kind of on those stitch lines, and then I'll give it a little bit of a swirl just to get some of that out on those arms of that snowflake. So you can see how, I'm going to go out just a skosh. Oops. So you can see how that's starting to really make that contrast, right? And I don't necessarily, because these are kind of whimsical, I don't keep my white brush, this brush with the white dry brush in it, I don't keep it absolutely positively pristine and out of the blue until the very end, because I don't mind that it gets some blue in it. If that white, you know, is, I can always come back with just straight white too. So I'll give it a couple coats around on those little arms. I'm going to let it dry. I'll go over to another snowflake. Let's do Santa's. And I'm going to just try it this way. I'm going to go right in for it and go for broke here and just really put quite a bit on, because I have a feeling it's going to fade out anyway. So, but just a little bit of that color, and then I can, you know, get those worked up. I could maybe even, now I know on the original, but I was doing one set. I know that I use these brushes, but you could, if you wanted to, you know, maybe have it go a little bit faster, you could use a stencil brush and it would hold a little more paint. But this isn't going too bad. But just on those stitch lines, kind of, I'm going around the middle, and by the time it dries, it really gets nice and a lot more muted. So fun. Let's see. These are, like, if you missed it, I used just some regular tea lights that I got off Amazon. They were very inexpensive, but what I would recommend, remember, if you order these, they do not come with the tea lights. You have to provide your own tea lights, but I would highly recommend getting the ones that are on a timer, because that way you wouldn't have to worry about turning them on and off all the time, you know. And so, but that's, you know, that's what I would recommend anyway. And again, on the noses that had some color, on the reindeer and the snowman, if you mix or you put a little bit of multi-purpose sealer on those noses, you can paint those and the paint will stick no problem to those noses. And it doesn't scratch off. very easily. I tried. I didn't, I mean, I think if I really put my mind to it, I could scratch it off, but I just gave it, you know, a little scritchy with my thumbnail, and it was fine to where it wasn't just falling off. So, and there we go. It's such a fun little technique. And you can see that that gray, even though it's a different color than that sand gray, it is still providing that that contrast and making it look a little more frosty, and that's really what we were after. So I'm just tippy, 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 and once it dries, it's fading. What kind of ornaments do you like to paint? Do you like to paint whimsical, florals, snowmen, Santas? What's your favorite? Or create. Maybe you don't like to paint. Maybe you like to sew. What kinds of things do you like to put on your ornaments? Oh, absolutely, Lori. Just a second here. I'm almost finished with this guy, and then I'll show you the finished ones so that you can see. You are going to love them because they are so cute. They are so cute. Hold on. Just one more of these little guys. And then we're going to put the blue on once we get this kind of on here. Okay. You like whimsical? You like whimsical? Yeah, I kind of do a little of everything, but there we go. We're moving towards these guys. So they have tea lights in the back, so they light up. And, oh, that one goes on pretty easy. So there's the little nose all lit up orange. We've got Santa. We've got Mrs. Claus. And we've got a reindeer. And they all have those tea lights in them so that the little noses light up. So that's what we're working toward. And you're just going to want to keep, you know, kind of working at these snowflakes just to get them as bright as you want them. But when you're ready, if you want to tip into one of the blues, it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go over here because I started with Mrs. Claus and I know she's good and dry. Let me turn off my little snowy friend. There we go. Now, Snowman doesn't turn on and off that hard. But I'm just going to sweep some of that blue in on the ornament from the outside edge, and that will help get some of that blue on there. Then I can tip into a little bit of the stormy, go back, not everywhere, maybe just here and there, put a little bit on there, and I think it looks really super nice when you've got just a little hit and miss of blue on that color. It helps it to look a lot more snowy like. Okay, and I'll do that with this one. So I'm just pulling that blue on. Some will have more, some will have less. They might have a little more dark or a little lighter. You thought burning fire on a tree. No, they're not sold individually, sorry. Yes, it would be nice to add a ginger. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking. You just never know what you might see by the time I get done with these guys. So we've got some blue on there. And then I'll want to go back over. If you wanted to, you could always put on some snow text, or you know, some sort of, you know, there's that sparkle snow text. It's that's the news from Decor. I can show you that if you haven't seen it. It's like the old glitter text, but it's the new and improved one, and it really is pretty. And so I think that ornaments are my favorite thing to kind of fuss with and add different stuff to. So cute though. And I know that everybody's loving a good ginger. We are going to be soon starting in the subscription, we're starting gingerbread. Our next project after we finish the one we're working on is a little ginger, and she is super cute, red and white, and I'm always good with that. So I've got that blue on there, and I can just keep working that so that I keep getting a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter. I'm going to let that blue come off my brush with a little scrub, and then I can pick up some white and I can go over those center areas here and there too, just to brighten them up. And it doesn't have to be, you know, everywhere, and you don't have to call these done until you think they're done. So you can keep working on them, but I think they look really great even now before they're done, with just a little bit of those different colors on there, and that little bit of brightness and stuff looks really great on there. So I'm going to leave them where they're at for now. I am going to load this brush that had all the blue in it and wipe it off on my paper towel 3 times so you can see where that blue is coming off. I'm going to load it again in Snow White in a different puddle, and then I'm going to really push down on it and get rid of that blue. But you can see how it got a little bit lighter. I'm going to do it one more time, giving it a new hula spot. And you can see how it got lighter still, right? So the idea is that usually you don't do this with white, you know, going back to white, but with blue and on ornaments, I'm not as concerned. But by the time you do that 3 times, you've returned pretty much back to your original color, or the color that you want to switch to. Put the paper towel on there. There we go. It's not going to hurt anything. So now I want to go on to my cute little snowy, and I'm going to zoom in on that guy. Let's get him. There we go. And I want to put a little bit of texture on him. I want him to look nice and snowy, but I want there to be some texture. And I'm just going to start at the nose because that's going to be the brightest area, and I'm going to work my way out until that's getting kind of dry. I've got lots of layers to go here. Well, not lots, but you know. And then I can start swirling it so that I can kind of make that little snowman come to life. But that gray background is going to give him some texture, make him look a little bit lumpy bumpy like a real snow ball, so that he will end up with a little bit of texture and not just be totally, completely just flat white. And but just keeping that real bright area right towards the middle. That's going to draw somebody's eye who's looking at it right to the middle of the little snowy, and it's going to also make that little face look spherical so that that's coming out. So it doesn't take much in order to get that kind of illusion of that little front of the face coming out. So cute, so cute. And I get a drink of water. So just a little more. I'll come back to this in a second. we're going to go on to Mrs. Claus' hair and Santa's beard. Now, on the originals, I swirled on their hair with a liner brush loaded in Snow White. And I still could do that, but I wanted to show you that there is another product or another tool that we have available now that we could use. And before we got started, I did some little testers on here. Let's see if we can get them to show. There you go. And what that is, if you look at it from the side, it does have a little bit of, it's raised. And what it is out of the Decor New Love color line, it is an acrylic writer. So this is just plain frosting white paint, and it's a 3D acrylic writer. So you could do something like we've got on the hair with this if you chose. But I'm going to presume that not everyone has that, and I'm going to do it with my liner brush. And but that is kind of a fun product to play with. It comes in some other colors too. And oh, before I get too far, I'm going to give this snowy a little bit more after a bit. I'm going to let that dry really well, but I do need to do the little pom-pom too. So I'm going to go over to Santa. Let me get him in the camera. Come on. There we go. Because we want Mrs. Claus and Santa in that camera. I'm going to use still Snow White, and I'm going to use a liner. I'm using my my 5/0 script liner, and we'll see. Some days I'm no different than you. Some days my script liner is my favorite tool, and other days I need a shorter one. So we're going to see what it is that's going to be my fave today. But I like to start in these little tiny areas where it's right at her forehead, and just make some spirals with that white, and it contrasts really well, and it's going to look a little bit curly. Yeah, this isn't going to be my favorite today, maybe. Well, it's not going too bad, I guess. But when you're making these little, you know, little spirals, if they're not even and you have like a gap, sometimes you get a gap that you need to, you know, you think, oh, I don't like that. Just go back and put a little line in there, and that won't show, and it will fill it in more, so that you're not going to be, you're going to be happy, and nobody is going to notice that that was put in there to fill it in. So you can see on that little part of the hair there that I added a little more to that spiral, and it's not going to draw as much attention as if I would have started over, for sure. Also, like, I had a little rough start on this guy, so what I could do is just go in and kind of fix it up. I'm not opposed to that. If I need to, I'll go in and fix them up. If you take it off, chances are you'll hit another one, and you're going to end up rebase coating it. So, and if you can't get the whole thing filled in, just put another one that kind of hangs off the side, and it will fill it in enough, because it's likely something that's going just around her head, you know, off the side. So that one has a big gap there, so I can just put a line in there, and I can fill in some of those areas. So it's not perfect little circles by any means, and some of them I go one direction, and others I go the other direction. It's just to make it look like there's a bunch of little cute curls on there. And if you start at the edges, it's easier to fill in when you're away from that edge. I need to fix that one, but I'm gonna start this one first. And this does take a little bit of practice to get used to, but you could also use a paint pen. You could also just, you know, paint a few hairs on here. You wouldn't have to do this if this feels like it's a big old stretch, you know. Sometimes it's just nice to go the simple route if you're fighting it. So I'm going to do this one and then pull in where I need to. And then this one I'm just going to fill in because that's kind of a pony or a bun that's in there. And then I'll go up to the bun and put a few in there. I want some big and some small. Just a fun, just something a little bit different, but you can see how that gray, very similar to when I used the other gray or sand gray. So it's very similar, just a little more gray. So, oh, I'm glad you like them, Joyce. I'm glad you like them. Thank you. These are available right now on the website. If you go to my website, there's a bar that pops up and it says all my new stuff. If you click on that and then scroll down, because you have to scroll, then they're right there on that page. So, and right now I do have all of them. It seems like we were, well, it didn't seem like it. We did run out of all of the ornaments that I did for Christmas in July. So thank you very much for ordering and stuff. But I do have some other ones. So I'll show you those at the end. Aren't they fun, Denise? I just love them. I just love them. Oh, I'm glad you like them, Lorraine. And if I know people are, I'm seeing the numbers change. So if you're wondering what these are, this is the Mrs. Claus, and she's got a little tea light that her nose lights up. But there's also a reindeer and a snowman and Santa. So lots of cuties. Okay, so now we've got Santa to do. Same way, same thing. Don't forget that water in your brush because it takes water to make that paint move. And I'm going to scoot this down a little bit, and I'm going to start by going on his little scalloped beard area and adding in a line here or there if I need to. And remember, these do not need to be perfect. They are just doofers. They doofer a curl on Santa or Mrs. Claus's hair or beard. The reindeer, I love the little reindeer with his little orangey nose. That's right. Sorry, his red nose. It's the snowman who has the orange. Oh, you guys. Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris just put up the link. I couldn't put it up beforehand because our friends here that host us, the FB, they don't like it when we direct you away. So I was once told, think of it as the jealous boyfriend. They don't want you leaving and going somewhere else. So I'm just filling in those little swirls. Nothing stressful, nothing too fussy, just some cutie cuties. I hope that those of you who love to paint are considering going to Oklahoma City next summer. It is going to be a great time. I believe it starts August 10th. And I'm working on submissions, and there's some surprises. Next year's theme is the 70s, so like a feeling groovy kind of a deal. And so it should be a lot of fun. It always is a lot of fun, but it's fun when you have ideas for that theme too, you know. Oops, my brush went all the way over the side. But remember, you can just kind of improvise there, and it looks better than an open gappy spot. I'm so glad you like them, Vanessa. I'm glad you like them. I hope you got some rest today, my friend. Vanessa has strep. That's no fun at all. Okay, so we've got those little swirlies on the hair. And now we need to do, oh, good, Chris, you would like it. You would like it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my dry brush that I rinsed out, so it's not real dry, but for what I'm going to do, it's okay. I want to put a little bit of just stippling on that hat band, mostly in the center. So I'm going to just do a little bit of that just to make it look fuzzy and a little bit furry. I don't want it to look too, you know, I don't want it to take away, but I'm going to go in the center quite a bit. I'm going to let that dry and see if I need to come back. I'm going to pick up a little bit more, and just on that little pom-pom, I want some of that gray showing, but I also want it to be fairly solid in the center. I'm going to go back to this one, and then the snowman. I can come back here, give him a little bit more texture, working my way out, a little swirl. There we go. So there he is. There he is. Woohoo! Again, you know, as I come back and look at these snowflakes, I might want to touch those up. I'm going to put my camera out a little bit more. There we go. On the greenery, I didn't do anything with the holly, but I did put polka dots with foliage green on the small, or on these little small leaves. So I want just enough foliage green to make some little dip dots. So just a drop or so, and then a little stylus. Oh, that's probably good, Vanessa. You needed the rest to get better. And then I'm just gonna put some little dots on there. And just nothing too stressful. Just easy. There we go. And we'll let that dry. Let that dry. I'm going to get out a little bit of my dark brown, my burnt umber. I've still got the honey brown, and I've got out the milk chocolate. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to work on that little bit of antler on our little reindeer friend. And all I'm going to do is on top of that milk chocolate, I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm going to put a few lines down on each like little section. I'm not fussy about it. I just want to put some little kind of green lines. I'm sure that they're not called green, but that's what I'm calling them right now. Then I'm going to take that dark brush and I'm going to keep that dirty brush and dip it into the original color, that milk chocolate, and I'm going to overstroke just to kind of blend it out while it's still wet. And put a little more of that so it's not quite so stripy. And it doesn't take much. And then I'll finally tip into that honey brown and just streak a little bit of that on there too. And that way it will just look like some little antlers that have several colors of brown on them. So nothing too fussy or anything. They just have a little bit of streakiness on them. Just a little. And while I have that brush out, I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit of that milk chocolate on it. And I'm just going to use that liner and kind of flick some little hairs in that ear, and it'll just deepen it up a little bit. Nothing very, just casual kind of a thing. So it just looks like there's a little shadow in that ear. If you wanted to, you could side load it. I did not, but you could. I did not shade on Santa or Mrs. Claus's face, and I did put little cheeks on all of these characters. But before I do that, I want to give this a chance to dry, and I'm going to zoom in so that you can see what I did on the little holly berries. Come on over. I did use some bright salmon on the holly berries and on Mrs. Claus's collar, and I forgot to do Santa's hat, you guys. That's not good. My goodness, Santa, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to Santa and just put a little red where his hat goes. Remember, I'm going to have that other piece that sits on top. So it's okay. I'm just going to be very careful, and it's okay because Mrs. Claus's collar is the same color, so it's not going to hurt too much if it does get a little bit on there. There we go. So you can see it covers pretty well. Pretty well. So I'll go back to my liner brush, and I've got my bright salmon, and on those little holly berries, I'm just going to put a little stroke. I've got water coming off my ferrule. And I'm just putting a little round stroke just to keep those looking very berry-like. And remember, I did not use the etching on this particular one because they were a little bit wonky, and that I'm not going to stress because I can just put these little strokes on and it will help define those berries and nobody will care. So it starts to make them look a little more round and so forth. So now what you go to do, I got that one a little bit off. That's okay. There we go. And then her collar and his hat have little dip dots just to cuten them up a little bit. So still bright salmon. If you wanted to add, different embellishments, you could add a button, you could add, other things, but you certainly don't need to. They're cute how they are. I am going to show you how I put my glitter on. And I'm going to switch to the other end. It's a little bit bigger just for Santa's hat. And if you wanted to, and I probably should have, I could wait until I got everything placed on here, so that I didn't have to wonder where that little, but I can also put a few extras on there if I need to. So it's the pom-pom on Santa's hat. This is the pom-pom on the end of his hat. Okay, so now I'm going to put on their little eyes. You could use a brush, but there is kind of a, I don't know, I think it's easier, but some people might disagree with me. Mrs. Claus headband, that's this little thing, the little green thing. Is that the flower shape you were talking about, Barb? So this is the little pom-pom though. Okay, so I'm going to take some black on a stylus, and I'm just going to go on to one that you can see. Let's see, there's the little reindeer coming up in there. Let's go over here. So I've got that stylus with that black, and I can really easily put that little bit of an oval on there. It's almost easier than using a brush. So that's what I'm going to do for all of those little eyes. Hopefully I can keep my hands out of all the dots. Just little. Let's move this down. There we go. This one's farther away from me, so it's not as easy. Okay, and then we've got the little snowy. And I've got the cheeks to do. You could put little little gems or jewels or crystals on here if you really wanted to sparkle them up. I'm going to give this a little shot of my hair dryer. Just so they're not quite as tender. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of that Santa red. You could use any other favorite cheek color that you like. I'm going to use, or sorry, not Santa red, watermelon slice. And you could use any color that you like for cheeks. I'm just going to, I've got this handy, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to load it here onto my little oval dry brush. I'm going to go to my dry spot on my paper towel and get as much off as I can, because that's a strong color. And then I'm going to go over to, I'm going to start with the reindeer and just give him a little bit of a rosy cheek look. Not too much, just a little. Kind of just east and west of that little opening that we'll have the cute little light coming through. I'm not going to reload. I'm going to go up to Santa. I started with the reindeer because that's going to be very forgiving, that darker color. Whereas if I would have started with, you know, the other three, their base coat color on their faces is lighter. So I still have not reloaded, and I'm just going to keep getting that nice soft cheek color on there. Round and round and round. Because you don't want them looking, you know, like they got into the sherry or something. So, and then I'm going to go to my little snowy. Super cute, really fun. And this video will be here on Cottage Caboodle. It will also live on the Caboodle Doodles group. We are still working at getting all of those videos back up there. For some reason we lost them, and we're not sure why, but we're working on it, trying to get all of the projects back. I got a little bit of my finger in there. I'm going to get a little bit of that warm beige. Just got a little smudge of that lamp black. So there, we got it fixed up. And then I did put little white dots on the cheeks for highlights, as well as on the eyes for a highlight. I'm going to wait to do the cheeks because, or well, at least on Mrs. Claus and Santa, because their hair and stuff going on there is going to make a difference. So I'm going to give their two little cheeks a highlight, and then without reloading, just give their little eyes one at 12 o'clock. I said I wasn't going to do that with those. So right here, and then there we go. So now they've all got their little highlights and so forth on there. So the one thing that you could do to the Snowy's hat is you could put a little, just a brush of a light gray color on there if you wanted. You don't have to, but it would highlight his hat. And but it's completely up to you, because I did take and sand each one of these little pieces on the edges, and what that'll do is just make them stand out a little bit more. You can see the little edges of that green. It's just sanded off. Okay, so you can sand the edges if you like or not, and then you're ready to start putting them together. Remember that you've got all of your little snowflakes with the names on them, so reindeer, Mrs. Claus, and so forth. So that's what we want to you know, pay attention to as we're getting these all put together. So if I put the reindeer out, I'm going to take his pieces and I'm going to put them down here. So there's that. He needs a piece of holly. He needs one of the berries. And he does not travel heavy, so that's all he's got on him. And then I will be, you know, just kind of placing that to make sure that he fits the way he needs to fit. That will be good. But what I want to do before I ever put this together is I want to place my we're going to pretend that this is one of the battery operated ones, right? We're going to put that in first. So you have to, before you put these together, you need to have your candle so that you can put them together and have them fit. And then you would place him on there and then pull up. And so when I placed them, the electric candle, the battery operated candle, does pop out, and then that way it will fit back in when you take this off. You can always also do this a little bit different, and that is put the glue on the top of your little votive, put it down, put your snowflake on top, put a little more glue down, and then put this guy on top of that. So either way, it's going to work out just fine, but you just have to know that you've got to have that that candle, that little tea light, in order to place them correctly. So I'm going to use this one because it's going to be close enough when I get a few more of those battery operated ones with the timer. Remember, I said the timer is the best, and this one will fit in there, and that way it'll be, well, it did fit. You guys saw it. Maybe it was because I went this way. There we go. And that way at least I can get this placed to glue it on if I wanted to. I might just wait. But so that's how you do it though, is again, if this were one of the battery operated ones, you'd put a little bit of glue on there, and then, sorry about that, you'd keep this little snowflake there, and then while that had the glue, you put this on there, put a little glue behind it, and then you'll be able to squeeze it all together and sandwich it. So this snowflake is going to be in between the candle and the reindeer's face, okay? And then you can put your embellishments on it. So all of them go together the very same way with the candle that way. But let's put them together so that you know how the pieces go. So this would be the easy one, right? It's going to go just like that. Just easy peas. Then we've got the snowy, which is just about as easy as the other. We get spam calls. Isn't that nice? So nice. So so we've got the little snowy, and it, you know, you can always add, if you think that you want a little bit of brightness or something, you can add that, but that's where his little hat band goes. Then he's got a little piece of holly, and it goes right above the hat band, just like so. And then has the little berries right on top. So here's his snowflake. Okay, so there's his snowflake. And then we've got to have Mrs. Claus. She's a little bit different. She was too far away when I was doing her eyes. I need to fix her eyes a little bit. I'm going to do that real quick before I forget. And I've got some black paint here. She just doesn't have her eyes. You could add a little bit of, you know, some eyelashes or something if you wanted. But there we go. That was just making me crazy. Okay, so then we need her hair. We need her collar. We need her little headband thing. And we also need the berries that she has. And this kind of just goes on top here. And then her berries. And that's how she goes together with her hair up there. So this little headband thing kind of covers up a lot of her face. So, or a lot of her hair, I mean. So there's that one. And then the last one is Santa. And then he's got this whole beard hat combo thing going on. And then this little piece goes on for his pom-pom. So now, once they're put together, you can go ahead and you know, if you didn't varnish all of the different parts and pieces, you could varnish it then. You could add glitter, and I was going to show you how I add glitter. I'm going to do one of the snowflakes, and let's see, I want a real bright one. It doesn't matter what piece necessarily I'm putting it on, because I'm going to do snow the very same way. So I always will put down, I'm going to actually just cover these guys up. I'm going to get this a little flatter. I'm going to take my snowman one. So I've got my little snowman snowflake here. Let's get it zoomed in. And I like to use matte varnish to put on the snow, unless I'm brush varnishing this, or to put on the frost, the glitter, unless I know that I'm going to be putting on a satin or a gloss or something. Also, I'm using glass glitter, and if you use glass glitter, you can varnish over top of it. It doesn't affect the shine that much, but if you have little fingers around your house, it will also dull the edges, because this is glass. You don't want children playing with these. They're, you know, decoration, but they can cut them. So, you know, be real careful with them and watch for that. But what I do is just take a little area at a time, and I like them to have the glitter mostly on the edges, and so I'll put some of that varnish where I want it. I'll take my glass glitter, and you can use whatever glitter you want. You can do, you know, this will work with any kind of glitter, not just the glass glitter. And then I just flood the area. And then I'll go over and do another little area. I might skip an area, you know, not put it on all the same places. Flood the area again. And this one, I don't want to put it around the center, because it won't, you know, my pieces still need to go together, but you know, hopefully this is all put together when you do this. This isn't how I would recommend doing it before you glued it together, but we're pretending that it's all going to be ready to go. And I'll put a little bit of that varnish on here. And get that brush ready to rinse out. Flood the rest of it. Make sure I've got it all the places. And then I'm going to take my piece carefully and just tap it a few times, and you can see how that stuck to all the places where I put that varnish. It's the adhesive. I'm going to make a little fold right down here. Trying to keep my glitter in there. And by far, the majority of my glitter is on this paper. And then I'm going to just stick that little fold on top of the jar. Put back what I didn't use. And because this is glass, I want to make sure there's nothing on my paper in case, you know, I don't want it to get in my foot or my finger or my dog's or whatever. I'll put the lid on this guy. And then I've got a lint roller right over here. And I just lightly go over whatever work surface I'm working on. And it will pick up all the remnants of my glitter. There's nothing left on there. And it's all on my lint roller, and I just remove that tape to make sure it doesn't fall off. Ideally over my trash can, but you get the idea. And then I've got that glitter safely on my piece, and it can dry. When it's done drying, I do have a brush that's just for glitter. It's a little bit stiff, and I will hold this over my trash can when I know it's dry, and I'll give it a strong brush. I'll go one way and then I'll go the other, and I am not careful. I want it to be rough so that I get all that loose glitter off if I can. And so that's how I take care of the glitter, especially if it's glass glitter. I'm not as concerned if it's in a polyester glitter or an acrylic glitter or something like that. But when you've got glass glitter, you do want to be really careful. Oh, I'm glad you liked them. They are fun. They could be put together in a whole lot of different ways. It would be fun to see how they would look, maybe in a primitive style, or maybe with more traditional, Christmassy colors, or, however you come up with a way to do them. But they are a lot of fun. I said that I was going to show you the other ones that we have back in stock in the store, so I will do that before I say goodbye. And we've got all of our little guys down here, but we do have the cardinals back in stock, and those are the ones that we do have the videos on them. And I tried to do a lady cardinal. How about we zoom out a little bit so you can see? So there's the girl, there's the other cardinals, and I even did one that was a little bit plaid and a little bit wild. So but we do have the cardinals. Those, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe they're $4.50 for those ornaments. And then we have the snowies, and they are 5 ornaments in the set for $10.50. That's a bargain. And how they go together, just so you can see in case you haven't seen them, there is a picture when you go to the website if you care to order, but just so you can see how they go together. They are super cute. Each thing has a little engraved deal, a little face, right? And then there are backers for each of the pieces. Those are for the snowflakes. And each one is engraved. So this one is just all the way around, just a circle. So you know that that one goes on there. And then I would show you what these look like when they're done, but they are in Portland. I haven't been down to pick up my stuff from OKC. It just got in yesterday. So, but they are in with that stuff. And then this one goes like that. And then we've got the 2 that are the little quilted snowflakes. So this one goes here and this one goes here. And then we've got the little carrot noses. We've got the hat brim. This one has earmuffs. And one of these, it doesn't really matter which one, has a pom-pom on the top of his hat. And then we've got these little guys. So those are those little ornaments too. So really, really fun, really fun. And they all go together just, real easy. When you use the whatever glue you use, I like to use the either Quick Bond or Tight Bond Quick and Thick. This one goes together real well. And there is also the Stick Fast. And Stick Fast, if you've seen me use Stick Fast, you've heard me complain. I'm sorry, but you have, that the lid is just, it's falling apart. Mine is. Well, I got a little empty glue bottle, and this one has a really little tiny thin nozzle, and I put my stick fast in there. And so I'll just keep refilling this, and I like that much better. So that's something that you can do too if you want. So those are the two that I did. So it is a fun piece. It is really fun to do something. You know, it's fun to do the real intricate things that take layers and layers and layers and lots of you know, steps and all of those things. But it's also fun to do something where you can get done in an hour or two with all 4 of these ornaments from beginning to end, and you know, be done with it. It's fun. There are a lot of the new things coming up that would be appropriate to do with children, because they're simple. They can be embellished upon, but they're simple, and it's just, you know, it's too much fun to do those. So and how much fun is it to have all those memories and whatnot? You know, it is priceless. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you so much for being here and taking the time to paint with me, and we'll be doing some more coming up soon. But I hope you have a wonderful, safe afternoon and evening wherever you may be, and that you're staying safe from the storms and the weather and things like that. So yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, they're so fun. They're so fun. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all very, very soon. This is Lisbeth Stoll, Cottage Caboodle. Night.